Shout out to the supporters of Tupac Was Lyrical. I need somebody to logically explain to me how Jay-Z is lyrically better than Tupac. The reason why I posed that question is because somebody said although Tupac is the bigger artist, the bigger rapper, and he has some great songs, but lyrically, Jay-Z is better than Tupac. There's plenty of people out there that think that Jay-Z is lyrically better than Tupac. Styles P is one of them. Check this out.
One of the main things people was mad about was Jay being ahead of Pac. What you think about that, man? You being an MC.
As a lyricist, I believe he is.
So my only question is, those who think Jay-Z is lyrically better than Tupac, I have to ask you, how? Now, this is my logic on the situation. When people say that Jay-Z is lyrically better than Tupac, and then I respond with, how is that? I need for somebody to tell me, how do you do that comparison? How do you figure that Jay-Z is better than Tupac as a lyricist? Because Jay-Z dropped Reasonable Doubt 4 months after Tupac dropped All Eyez on Me. All Eyez on Me came out in February of 1996, but Tupac recorded All Eyez on Me in October of 1995 in 2 weeks. Check this out.
I look back, that was one of the greatest albums that I worked on, and I was proud once again that we did it in 14 days. Still, my favorite song is Ambitions of a Writer. It was one of those songs that when we first pulled it up and started tracking it, I heard it, and I immediately knew that this was going to be like a huge album.
When Tupac released Me Against the World, he recorded that album in 1994. Tupac got shot up in 1994. 1995, Tupac was in prison. Tupac wasn't released until October 1995. He came home October and immediately went to the studio either that same day or the next day. Tupac even described how he did this.
I've been in the studio since the day after I got out. Came to the Friday. I got out Thursday. I've been in since Friday. How many hours a day, bro? Up about 12 hours a day. Up until they kick me out, it'd be dark and everybody got to go to sleep. Well, people be passing out, so I'll be like, okay, I guess we got to go home then. So then we go home, come back early in the morning, do it again. I think we broke a record this time for any recording. I'm trying to do the album in less than a week so I can call my album 7 days. But if I change the title, I might do a couple more songs. So. But we did 13 tracks in 4 days.
Tupac recorded 13 songs in a week's time, and he wanted to do it in 7 days. So Tupac did so good with recording and doing his album that he eventually made so much music that he presented Death Row with a double album. That was in October 1995. Jay-Z, I'm assuming, started recording Reasonable Doubt perhaps sometimes in 1995, perhaps. Or Jay-Z started recording it in 1996. He still had ample time to put that album together. Jay-Z released Reasonable Doubt in June of 1996, 4 months after Tupac dropped All Eyez on Me. So when people say Jay-Z is the better lyricist than Tupac, or Jay-Z is lyrically better than Tupac, and I ask the question, how, I want to know logically, what are you using to display that Jay-Z is a better lyricist than Tupac? Because throughout the course of 1995, Tupac didn't make any music that he could put out because he was in prison. And when he came home, as I just mentioned previously, he worked on All Eyez on Me. After that, DJ Quick engineered the album for the next 4 months, just making sure that it was sonically pleasing to the ear.
I never seen nobody work like that. Like I never seen anybody that would go in the studio and dedicate that much time to what he was doing. It was like he was a man on a mission. Like we we took breaks. Like when I say me, I mean me.
Yeah.
You know, I'll take a break, you know, go drive the Lexus, you know, go to Cheesecake Factory, Marina, eat.
Nice.
Go back to the studio, Tupac's still in there with a Versace shirt on, rolling blunts. Listen to this. And it's always a new song. Every time you went in the studio with him, it was a new. It's like, where are you getting all these new? The producers are getting tired. I quit a long time ago, my nigga. Like, I was tired from above the All Eyez on Me. I didn't make Illuminati.
In 1994, when Tupac actually recorded Me Against the World, he demonstrated how lyrical he was. Me Against the World is a lyrical masterpiece. And at that time, JAYZ wasn't out. JAYZ was still hustling and still trying to get a record deal. Meanwhile, Tupac already had his album made, which didn't get released until 1995. JAYZ didn't even have an album out in 1995. He might have been working on music in 1995, but Tupac's album, Me Against the World, sat at #1 for like a month while he was in prison. At least give me 14 more songs to add to the songs that JAYZ made in 1994 with In My Lifetime, and I can't get with that. Because in 1994, Tupac recorded Me Against the World, If I Die Tonight, So Many Tears, Heavy in the Game, Lord Knows, Death Around the Corner, It Ain't Easy, Young Niggas, Fuck the World. I'm mentioning these songs because this is where Tupac lyrically displayed how dope he was. And let me also add that in 1994, Tupac showed massive love to New York by creating the song It Ain't Nothing Like the Old School, which a lot of New York hip-hop artists didn't even know existed. Like people, for instance, like Raekwon and Grand Puba and Melly Mel. These people didn't even know that song existed. The shooting that happened to Tupac and him going to jail, it overshadowed the lyrical masterpiece that Tupac created in 1994. But when it was released in 1995, you had songs like Dear Mama, Temptations, and So Many Tears, but nobody really concentrated on Tupac's lyrical peak. They was more concerned about the drama that surrounded Tupac. So when Tupac comes home in 1995 and he creates the songs for All Eyez on Me and he completes the project in 2 weeks, you have to understand that that takes skills. You have to, and when you listen to songs like Ambitious of a Rider, Picture Me Rolling, All Eyez on Me, Two of America's Most Wanted, How Do You Want It, Heaven Ain't Hard to Find, When We Ride, etc. When you listen to these songs, Tupac created these songs in 20 minutes. You have people like E40, Too Short, Snoop Dogg, Corrupt, Daz, Dr. Dre. You have people out there to verify that Tupac actually recorded these songs in 15 to 20 minutes. And he did it in a 2 weeks time span after being freshly released from prison. Now, people got to take that into account. This is a man that's been in prison for 8 months, stressing, going through what he was going through, dealing with the paranoia, dealing with, though he has enemies out there, dealing with his friends betraying him, and then he comes home and records these songs in 2 weeks, and it's not released until February 1996, where there is no signs of JAYZ with an album out yet. Maybe a single here and there, maybe. So then JAYZ finally releases Reasonable Doubt, which is a classic album, which that album, Reasonable Doubt, is in my top 5. With Tupac's album, Me Against the World, JAYZ is also in my top 5. So JAYZ is one of my favorite rappers. But I will never say that JAYZ is lyrically better than Tupac, because when JAYZ was active while Tupac was alive, Tupac was doing bigger things musically, and the content between these two artists was completely different. Now, if somebody want to say JAYZ is lyrically better than Tupac, and then you're going to use Reasonable Doubt In My Lifetime, Volume 1, Hard Knock Life, the Dynasty album, the Black Album, the Blueprint, the 444, Magna Carta, American Gangster. If you're going to use all these songs that Jay-Z did after Tupac's death to say that Jay-Z is lyrically better than Tupac, then that's where the conversation becomes illogical. Because you gotta do the comparison when Jay-Z was actually active while Tupac was alive. And you don't have that much material from Jay-Z when Tupac was alive, other than Reasonable Doubt. But that was released 4 months after All Eyez on Me. But then you gotta logically think like, damn, Tupac recorded All Eyez on Me in 2 weeks in October 1995. The same year, Me Against the World spent #1 at the top of the charts for a month. Me Against the World, an album that he actually recorded in 1994. Me Against the World, where he deliberately showed you how lyrical he was. It was a lyrical masterpiece. When he came home to do All Eyez on Me, the shit that he lyrically wrote down, he was venting. He was venting. So there's people out there who never even dissected Me Against the World. They don't listen to it for the skill sets. They don't listen to it to see how Tupac demonstrated how dope of a lyricist he actually is. Go back and listen to songs like Heavy in the Game, one of my favorites. Go back and listen to It Ain't Easy, Being Me. Will I see the penitentiary or will I stay free? Go back and listen to that. Go back and listen to Me Against the World. And while you at it, go back and listen to If I Die Tonight. These songs were created in 1994 when Jay-Z only published to the public 2 songs and 2 videos called In My Lifetime and I Can't Get With That. So while Jay-Z was doing those 2 songs, Tupac created a whole album in 1994. In fact, he created a second album because Tupac thought that Biggie's Ready to Die sounded too familiar to the music he was about to put out. So he trashed that album and created a whole new one in record-breaking time. So this is what I'm saying to you people out there. I need you to logically explain to me how Jay-Z is lyrically better than Tupac. Now, I'm not 100% correct in what I'm saying in there. This is my opinion. But I'm trying to be super logical about this discussion. So if anything, you should be saying is like, yo, Jay-Z and Tupac were equally great lyricists. Now, this is the last thing I'm going to add to this. If Tupac would have never got shot up and he was able to talk about Me Against the World and he was able to talk about the lyricism of If I Die Tonight or the song Me Against the World or how the lyrics and the flow of So Many Tears or how he went crazy on Death Around the Corner. If he didn't get shot up and none of that crap happened to him, then we would be having a hip hop discussion about Me Against the World. And then Tupac would just know that, like, damn, I'm nice. When people talk about Tupac to this day, they don't really talk about the lyricism. They don't. In fact, they say Tupac is not lyrical. This is why I created this channel demonstrating that Tupac was lyrical. And nobody talks about that album, bro. Nobody. We don't have conversations about Me Against the World. And this is where we go wrong. We don't have those kind of conversations about that. In 1994, he gave you If I Die Tonight. Now you get a song from Jay-Z in 1994 going against If I Die Tonight. In 1994, he gave you a song called Me Against the World. Now you get a song from Jay-Z in 1994 going against Me Against the World. In 1994, he created So Many Tears. Now you get a song from Jay-Z in 1994 going against So Many Tears. He created Heavy in the Game in 1994. Now you get a song from Jay-Z in 1994 going against Heavy in the Game. You get 16 songs from Jay-Z in 1994 going against Tupac's Me Against the World album. I keep stressing 1994 because that's when it was recorded. It wasn't released until 1995. And Tupac cannot touch up on it any longer or make any corrections or this, that, and the third because he was in prison. Jay-Z only published 2 songs to the public in 1994 in my lifetime, and I can't get with that. So are you using those 2 songs? Are you using those 2 songs to say that Jay-Z is lyrically better than Tupac? Or are you using Reasonable Doubt, which came out 4 months after Tupac dropped All Eyez on Me, which was actually finished in October of 1995, to say that Jay-Z is lyrically better than Tupac? Don't skip over how fast and advanced Tupac was with his songwriting. Don't skip over that. That's his skill in itself. It's not like Tupac was writing some bullshit at all. He was writing some real shit. He was writing his life. Don't skip over that and diminish him and just say that Jay-Z is lyrically better. Don't just say that Tupac is the bigger artist, the greater songs. No, we talking about lyrics. Don't diminish that man like that. Don't do that. Give that man his props for creating a classic album in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time. Ain't nobody else did it at that rate, at that time, especially coming home from prison, but before that, getting shot up and being accused of rape. No person in the hip-hop industry has done that. You got to give that man Tupac his props, bro. So anything that you should be saying is that Jay-Z and Tupac are equally great MCs. Stop saying that Jay-Z is a better lyricist than Tupac.